Recently, the player count of classic movement shooters has been skyrocketing. Social media is full of people posting games like BO3, BO4, and Advanced Warfare, and this really made me think, why? Most of these movement shooters were not liked when they first launched. Many of these games made mistakes like making the movement speed too drastic and making it too difficult for players to read each other. The reason these games age so well is because in most current FPS games, there's not a lot of freedom to create your own playstyle using movement. The new trend of games is to lower the skill ceiling so that everyone can compete. This trend seems to be thought of by people that do not play FPS games, and you can see this with the player count of current titles. Many games that choose to water down their mechanics at this point are starting to die, and I think it's because the base skill level of most players at this point is high enough where a movement shooter would actually do good in today's market. Seeing someone use a game's mechanics in a way that I didn't think was possible or just surprises me in general is usually what motivates me to either get on the game and try it or to watch something and learn more about it. But this is what's missing from today's FPS market. Removing the ability to perform something like this to impress viewers really limits the amount of fun you're allowing your audience to have. Now, I know what everyone thinks the solution is to fixing games in the current day is to just give players more freedom. And while yes, that is the fix, it's also a very difficult thing to do, because if you give people too much freedom, it also kills the game. I want you guys to hear the perspective from a Respawn developer of how they have to balance the game around movement to make more sense of why it's just not that easy. Also, this clip is from a Macro video, and if you haven't watched it, you definitely should. He is a way better YouTuber than I am. But yeah, listen to this.
We introduce quick moving, unpredictable movement. It is a nightmare, right? To try and do that. You're doing that. This is what was called in Titanfall 2 about the Brownian fluid problem. When you don't have a front line, when you can't understand where the action is happening, when people can appear behind you, above you, left, right, and center, you don't have a through line to understand the combat.
Titanfall 2 is a game where you are completely free to do whatever kind of movement that is within your skill set. And while that's nice, it's also why this game is not as popular as it could be today. The best movement system that we've recently gotten in an FPS game is Warzone 1. Some of you watching this might be newer to the channel, and I've mainly posted Warzone for the past couple years. And I know a lot of people think, wow, Call of Duty, it's not very skilled. And while that's currently true for Call of Duty's newest title, it was actually the opposite for Warzone 1. Now in Warzone 1, you couldn't boost jump or run on walls or anything insane like that, but the main movement mechanic in Warzone 1 was sliding. The slide could be canceled, and that mechanic alone carried that game's success completely. Sliding may not be a big mechanic, but the audience that Warzone had is pretty much only comparable to Fortnite. They achieved this by having a mechanic that made you move quickly, but also was simple enough to use that everyone could understand. If you play Warzone now, which is Call of Duty's second iteration of their Battle Royale, they've completely stripped it of its core mechanic, and it has fallen off tremendously. Coming from Call of Duty, I was extremely deprived of the sense of movement that you used to be able to get in the game, that playing Titanfall 2 really scratched that itch for me. To play this game, you need to download and install the Northstar client, which you need the Steam version of Titanfall 2 for. I will link the video in the description of how to do it. I'm also going to link all of the videos that I used for examples in the description. The rest of these clips are just from my week of playing Titanfall, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. What does a game need now to perfectly balance movement? Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later.
Two down. Twice the pleasure. We may be losing, but we can turn this around if we fight harder.